Yo, what is up, everybody? So I know 4th of July was last weekend, but yeah, we bring in the fireworks today, okay? We're gonna blow some stuff up, and we're not talking about just like, snakes and sparklers. So grab yourself a beverage, pop yourself some popcorn, because we bring in drama for your mama, and I mean that literally. So yeah, back at you in a minute. This has been a little bit interesting. I know a lot of you are probably familiar with some of the drama that has been going down in the Google Plus communities and stuff like that for the drumming world here on YouTube. And if you've been following along, you know that it's been kind of like up and down, and there's been some stuff said back and forth between a few different parties and stuff, and it's kind of gotten a little bit weird. I'm kind of here today to shed some light on some of the stuff that's been going on, though. Now, I want you guys all to know that there's going to be some names in this video that you're all familiar with, that some of which have been pretty big and pretty influential in the drumming community, and some rightfully so, some not so much. All right, and I just want to let you guys know that there's probably going to be a lot more drama generated now because of this particular video, but I don't care. And it's going to shed some light on some very hypocritical behavior, and something that shouldn't be tolerated. There's some people out there that have been very manipulative. There's people out there that, again, have been very hypocritical. And, what you do with this information is completely up to you. But just know that some of the people that you find to be incredibly influential, they're not. So everything that you're going to see in this video is the result of 30 minutes to an hour worth of Facebook, YouTube, and Google search time. Every bit of this is public record. You can look all of this stuff up yourselves. Okay, this isn't just me with some, Shane Dawson type like conspiracy theory stuff. Like this is legit, and you can look it up on your own. As of last night, at least, when I was putting this together, all of the information was still out there. So I'm sure all of it will come down rather quickly after this video posts, but that's okay because I've got all my screenshots, so I'm not worried about them taking all their stuff down. So basically, what has happened here was DMan190 and a few of his, shall we say, minions have been very vocal about needing new faces, desperately needing new faces in the drumming community. So that being said, I've been a supporter of DMan for a while. He's featured me on many of his live shows and shout outs and stuff like that, which initially I appreciated. And so I had recommended one of my students who was actively thinking about getting into the drumming game on YouTube, that he should go check him out, check him out, like watch one of his live streams, see what it's all about. Like, we've got some really cool drummers in the community. There's some very helpful people in the community. And I thought that maybe it would be a good thing for him to check out and see if he was something he really wanted to get into. I wasn't in the live stream myself, like I was busy planning some stuff for a rehearsal, doing some writing for my drum line and stuff. And so I wasn't at the live stream, but I caught the playback, and I caught the live chat playback as well before they took that down. Yeah, So that's kind of what this stemmed from. I find it funny though that given how adamant a few people have been about bringing fresh faces and stuff to the drumming community, that fresh faces are being treated the way they are. So I'm going to go ahead and go into a little bit of explanation here, and we'll just kind of go from there. And as this video progresses, you're going to see more and more evidence and stuff of what I'm talking about. And by the end of this video, I assure you it will all make sense. So this right here, this is the first slide, if you will. In this, you can see those little ads that I was talking about, that he likes to put out with his little call to action about how, we need more drummers and stuff like that in the drumming community. We need fresh faces. We need, desperately needing, fresh meat, probably because more and more people are starting to not believe his crap. So we need more people that are young and impressionable and stuff that will. So that's probably what that's about. Second slide right here is, Michael joins the stream and he introduces himself to everybody. So far so good. Everything's kind of business as usual, if you will. He's specifically said that, he's new to the community and stuff, and he's just kind of asking questions to kind of acclimate himself as to, how things work. Can't blame him for that. Slide 3 right here. Again, this is same thing. This chat looks pretty normal and everything. Again, business as usual. And then this slide here, slide 4. There's this young man named Barry Clark, and if any of you have been in the live streams with DMan frequently, especially recently, you probably recognize Barry Clark. And he asks a lot of questions, much like my student Michael over here is doing. And he asks for shout outs pretty regularly, like, hey, am I going to be in this show? Am I going to be in this live show? Am I going to be on Sunday shout out? Like whatever. He's a young kid. He's an impressionable kid. He's excited. He's eager, There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe his method about going about it and begging, is inappropriate given the format and stuff. But, it is what it is. But what's weird is that he immediately starts getting ganged up on. Specifically by Lynn Burgett and One True Hill. One True Hill 08. And remember that name because you're going to hear it a lot in this video. But both of them basically telling him that, he should just leave. If he's only here for, for subs, then he might as well just leave. But that's an odd thing to say when you're specifically telling people you want more fresh faces to come to these streams because we need more fresh faces in the drumming community, right? So that's the first kind of glance that we see where this hypocritical mentality going on. So the whole point of a shout out and a feature is to supposedly help grow these kids' channels and stuff and grow these drummers' channels like ourselves, which ultimately that's what everybody's here for, right? Is to grow their channel. How do you grow your channel? Well, you grow your channel with more subs, more engagement. Here he is in the chat. He's engaging, talking to other drummers and stuff, and your minions want him to leave because I would assume he's taking some kind of an attention away from you, right? So that's kind of odd. I find that kind of odd. Slide 5 here, this is about halfway through the show. Everything's going pretty well for my student Michael, but this is where things kind of start to get a little bit interesting. And Patricia Moe, again, another name you want to be familiar with, she asks who Michael's teacher is. So slide 6 right here, this is where Michael replies and says, oh, my teacher's name's Steve. He's got a small YouTube channel, and kind of leaves it at that. Slide 7, there is a comment made about a tight pocket, okay? And Michael replies, and it's kind of hard to tell for sure if it's an off-color joke or if it was something that he was legitimately asking about. Previous comment that Michael made was kind of an off-color joke, so it's interesting. I'll have to ask him what he actually meant when he said that. But immediately, he's attacked by Patricia Moe, and One True Hill. Again, interesting. Slide 8 is where we see that Michael's not really getting a response to his question about the pocket. So he basically concedes to ask myself, what pocket is, or as somebody had mentioned previously in the show, Earl Bennett, who is a very talented drummer, phenomenal chops, great pocket, great groove and everything, just awesome dude. Everybody loves Earl. Earl posts a lot of like tutorials and stuff. So Michael says, well, he'll ask me, or maybe he'll check out Earl's channel and see if there's any tutorials or anything that talks about pocket. So there's that. So that's kind of interesting. So that kind of leads me to believe that maybe he was asking in earnest when he made his little off-color joke about a tight what, But anyways, you see here that One True Hill makes another snide remark, and in regards to his teacher. So that's kind of interesting. So here in slide 9, this is where Grosdorff actually asks a question as to whether Barry Clark has been banned. It's a funny thing to actually bring up because why would Barry get banned? Yeah, he asked a couple questions. Yeah, he asked to be featured and get a shout out, but why would you ban him from the chat? That doesn't make any sense. My student Michael makes a comment about what seems to be some hostility from a few people, specifically, One True Hill, Patricia Moe, and a few other people and stuff that you'll see. And at this point, One True Hill comments again that she really hopes that Barry was banned. Again, doesn't make any sense when you're constantly talking about how we need more and more fresh faces to be new to the drumming community, and here you are harassing fresh faces. It makes perfect sense, right? So slide 10. Now we're sitting here, and Guitar Woman basically suggests that maybe Michael shouldn't be a part of the drumming community if he can't handle hostility, And let's keep in mind, this is Michael's first ever time being in a live chat, being in a live stream, checking out drummers and stuff on YouTube. He hasn't even checked out my channel yet. And here he is checking out people that I recommended to him. And this is the way he's getting treated on his literally first night ever online. I mean, what does that say about the people that we're looking up to as mentors and stuff? So yeah, definitely kind of an odd thing to deal with here. So that's basically the end of the live stream and the comments and stuff there. And then immediately afterwards, the comments and stuff had all gotten taken down. And there was even a point where the live stream itself had been blocked and taken down because of a copyright strike. So now there's more that I can go into detail in regards to the copyright strike and why it got pulled down. I have more information from other drummers that have contacted me and stuff in regards to this fresh face live stream in particular. So if anybody is interested in that information, by all means, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to share that information with you. But that was kind of the end of the live stream. So I, of course, hear back from my student about this, and I ask him hey, how did it go? Did you find some channels that you could subscribe to? Did you make any new acquaintances and stuff like that? Got some drummers and stuff like that you can talk to and stuff. Because it's kind of one thing for me to talk to my students and stuff and tell them things, but it's also really important for them to hear things from other drummers to validate the things that I say to them. That hey, Steve actually knows what he's talking about. Because I heard this. All from all these different drummers, which is exactly what he tells me on a daily basis. So it's kind of important for me as an educator to make sure that my students and stuff like that hear consistent messages from other drummers and stuff like that that know more than I do, So it's kind of important. So of course I followed up with him. And then he told me about everything that was said and how he's not even sure that he even really wants to consider continue playing drums anymore. Over one night. So that was a little bit disappointing. So I reach out to DMan on Facebook, and I kind of was a little bit upset about what had happened. And you can see the messages here. I specifically mentioned his call to action regarding new faces desperately needing in the drumming community, and how I was disappointed how these new faces were being treated. And he kind of deflects a little bit and says that he's not responsible for what people say in his live chats. Not his fault. He's got nothing to do with it. You know, that's kind of interesting though, because other people have been banned in some of his live chats and stuff because they were disruptive, because they were, harassing people, because they were saying things that were inappropriate to one another. So it's interesting that he would say that he's not responsible when it comes to these three particular people. One other thing he says here is that not everyone's going to like you on the internet, and he should just accept that. Again, we're talking about literally my students' first ever encounter online with other drummers and stuff. And this is what you're going to say? Oh, after one particular instance, people are automatically attacking you and that should be okay and you should just accept that? No. So this slide here shows some more of that conversation. And in this slide, I specifically call out One True Hill, Guitar Woman 190, and Patricia Mo, and I ask who they are. They're constant contributors of his and are very frequent commenters on all things Drumman related. So he deflects again. He lies and says that they're just fans and supporters of his. And again, he's not responsible for what people say. He goes then a little bit further and plays the victim card because he's been associated with some of the drama recently, like I mentioned before. I basically tell him that I don't really believe him, and I ask him again if he knows who they are. In this slide, again, he implies that he doesn't know them and that they're just random people from the internet and you never really know who those people are. He suggests that next time something like this happens, I should take it up with the people that are doing the harassment and commenting. And I explained to him that Michael pointing out the hostility in the room, and nothing came of that. I asked him if the three people that I mentioned are moderators for him, because there seems to be an awful lot of support from the three of them, and that support's reciprocated between him and the three of them. So he supports them just as much as they seem to support him. And that's an odd little thing for somebody who claims that he doesn't know who they are. But again, he deflects and says that he doesn't know them and wants to know why that I'm mad at him specifically because he didn't do anything. He's not the one that said anything. So, it's not his responsibility. In this slide here, I start to get a little bit defensive, much like, One True Hill, Guitar Woman 190, and Patricia Mo have gotten defensive over Drumman, right? I mean, this is, again, some of this hypocritical behavior that we're starting to see. I tell Drumman that if they are singling out my student, then I'm going to defend him. So I ask if these three people are directly associated with Drumman, then yes, I do hold Drumman responsible. It's his channel, it's his stream. These are his fans, his supporters and stuff like that, and it is his responsibility. He concedes this point and says that he would try to address the issue and that he hopes my student has a better experience the next time. But wait a second, these are your people, bro. They are. And here's where things start to get really, really interesting. So slide 15 shows that I call him out by the name Matthew, not William, as most of us, know him by. And I accuse him that these are his sisters and his mother, and he denies it again. I drop their names, he denies it again, and he's starts to kind of play dumb about it, But as most of us know as parents, when it gets to this level of things, when we start to make an accusation like that, it's usually because we already know the answer, and we're just looking for validation on what we already know. And, he again plays dumb and pretends that he knows nothing about it. So in this slide here, He doubles down on playing dumb thing, tries to redirect that I'm the crazy person, and then he blocks me. And basically he states that he's wasting his time trying to convince me that he's telling the truth, and he's right, because I won't believe him. Absolutely not. And here's why. So slide 17, let's start with the YouTuber named Patricia Mo. Okay. And as you can see, Patricia Mo, this is a fairly easy one for me to have put together, but it stands for Patricia Mosquitis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Frankly don't care. But as you can see, she's been a frequent poster on his channel and on a lot of our channels for that matter, and yeah. Hi, Mom. So this one here, this gets to slide 18 here. This one's another really simple one to have put together, and it's a YouTube commenter who frequents, all of anything Drumman, and goes by the name of John Edwards, and it's funny because, Drumman's mentioned multiple times about, his parents are doctors and stuff, and it was a really easy, once again, to put together that, John Edwards is Jonathan Edward Mosquitis, MD. And it was pretty easy to do a Google search and find his practice and stuff like that. So, yeah, but it's okay. Keep talking about how you don't know how any of these people are. So, slide 19. This one here, this is One True Hill 08, which I'm sure we're all very, very familiar with because she's pretty vocal and supportive of all things Drumman and quite a few other people's pages. She comments on everybody's covers. She's always in the live stream. She's always on the Sunday shout outs and stuff. She's very active. But it wasn't hard to put it together that, One True Hill is Hillary Mosquitis, Drumman's sister. And as you can see here, there's plenty of information to support that. Slide 20, now we're looking at Guitar Woman 190, otherwise known as Emily Mosquitis. I'm sensing a pattern here. These all have the same last name and everything, but keep talking about how you don't know who they are, man. Like it's kind of funny. Like you're just gonna double down, triple down, quadruple down, and you have no clue who these people are. They're just fans of yours, right? Supporters. And I'm sure there's a certain degree of truth to that. They are fans of yours. They are supporters of yours, but they're family members, bro. Like these are your people. You are responsible for what they say to other people in your chats, in your live streams. So, nah, you don't get to say that I'm the crazy person and stuff like that because I called you out on your bullshit. You don't get to say you're not responsible for the things that you say to my students when I had your back and I recommended my students to come check you out. So, slide 21. This is what I'm talking about, man. Like, really? Really, Drumman? You don't know any of these people? You've all been commenting on each other's stuff for years, as far back as 2011, bro. And that's just from what I found on a very simple search. Just clicking links on people's comments and clicking to see where things go down the rabbit hole, man. Like just following a trail of breadcrumbs. Anybody could do this. You forgot about all this, huh? I wonder how that makes your family feel when they find out that, like you've basically just written all of them off as just fans and supporters of yours. Like, I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. So hopefully, this all jogs your memory a little bit. Slide 22. So some of you may have noticed that I referred to him as Matthew when I was ranting and I made the initial accusation and stuff. So wait, then who is Matthew then, right? Like, that seems kind of weird. And there's been a few posts and stuff by Emily, AKA Guitar Woman 190, where she talks about Matthew and shares one of Matthew's drumming videos. And you can see clearly that the drum video that she posts and stuff is a Green Day, Jesus of Suburbia. And we all know how much, drum man adores Green Day, all things Green Day. So there's that. That's kind of like pretty obvious, you know. Posted there, like when you can see that there was 2 comments on that particular post. I show you what those comments are, and you can see that Emily's friend refers to him as Matt. It's interesting. Matt. Huh. We all know you as William, bro. So slide 23. Well, hello there, Matthew. That's a very familiar looking young man we see sitting behind that drum set. Well, and it's a very familiar drum set too, isn't it? Oh, and that studio is very familiar looking. And wouldn't you know that Matthew plays drums from Newtown, PA. Same as Patricia Mosquitis. And as you can see here, just one of her dependents is listed as being Matthew Mosquitis. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that studio is your mama's basement, bro. And this kind of brings me to the comment about the adding Zoom to everyone's last name. You know, he called me crazy and says I was not making any sense. I'm just adding the word Zoom to everybody's last name. Well, that's interesting. That I would be the one that would be adding Zoom to things in my accusation. Which brings us to slide 24 right here, which is, nah, bro, I didn't add Zoom to anybody's names. Y'all did that. You did. You did it when you copied your, what I can only assume is your big sister, Hillary Zoom. You know, you look up to her or whatever, so you want to be like her. So you copied her name. And yeah, you can see the post here from 2011 where Matthew plays drums. And in that frame, you can see that he got that wicked awesome score on Words with Friends where he's using the login username as Matthew Zoom. So frame 25 here now. So like, since you look up to your big sister, of course, it's only fitting that your little sister would look up to you, right? So you copied her online persona with the whole Zoom thing. So it makes sense that your baby sister would then copy your online persona. Guitar Woman 190. I don't think that's a coincidence. So see how she's copied your online persona now? Family could be protective, bro. The really, really long Facebook instant message that she sent a few members of the drumming community, and you could see where it starts out as Emily, you know, because she was using the Emily, I believe it was the Emily Stella account that she posted that one from when she sent that instant message. But when you see at the very bottom here where she actually signed it as Guitar Woman 190, oops, did she not think people would notice that and start to ask questions? Man, they can be so protective, can't they? You know, family, they want to see us do well. They want to see us grow. They want us to see us prosper and stuff. And she must be so proud of you. But yeah, that message that she sent to all of us was it was interesting to say the least, and it was incredibly hypocritical, and it was absolutely popcorn worthy. So yeah, make sure you thank her from all of us that she sent that out, because it was quite entertaining. All right, so to prove once again that I'm not the one being deceptive or crazy, like I said, all of this is public record and took me less than an hour to compile. I do suggest that you do your own research on these fake/shadow accounts, because they're surely going to be making them private now that they've been exposed. So check them out while you can. What you do with all of this information is entirely up to you and the community, you know, but just know that you're being lied to, you're being manipulated. The burning question is why? Like, so you've got a supportive family that are active and follow your journey. That's awesome. I don't understand why you would lie about that. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever, you know, and why would you continue the ruse for so long? Like I said, some of this stuff dates back to 2011. You know, I don't understand why you're putting so much effort into hiding who you and your family members are. My family members comment on my stuff. They share my stuff. Like, it's great. It's awesome. I love having a support system that, you know, appreciates what I do and are proud of my accomplishments. So I don't really understand that. And quite frankly, if you would have just come out and been like, hey, yeah, they're my family members. Do they support me? It's cool. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. You know, the problem is in the lie. And then the problem becomes keeping up that lie. So last but certainly not least, this last particular frame, yeah, I'd like to take a moment of silence here. So as you can see here, this is an obituary for DMan's grandfather. And again, public record. This took me 10 seconds on a Google search to find. And you can see every one of the names that I've mentioned. Patricia Moe, Jonathan Edward Mosquitis, Emily, Hillary, Matthew. So yeah, keep pretending that you don't know who these people are. So I've said my piece. I'm done with any and all DMan or DMan related activities. Going forward, I suggest all of you really kind of consider who it is that you're associating with. If it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. Carl Sagan. So here's a little something that, again, I dug up on Facebook to close this out with. It appears as what can only be described as DMan190, Guitar Hero 190, and One True Hill playing together before they came, a bunch of liars. Enjoy.
Hello everybody, so today we're going to be doing a few songs for you, for all of you. So the first song we're doing is Hit Me With Your Best Shot.